Today on People Now, J-Lo and A-Rod are engaged, and we're telling you everything we know about that rock that she got and the sweet proposal.
Also on the show, a heartfelt tribute from George Foreman to his daughter Frida after her unexpected death.
Plus, wedding planning is in full swing for Katherine Schwarzenegger. She opens up about prepping for the big day with her fiancé, Chris Pratt.
Why Nicki Minaj's second concert cancellation might be fueling her feud with Cardi B.
And Carson Kressley is a busy man these days, but he's here with us talking RuPaul's Drag Race and his show, Get a Room.
It's all live today on People Now. Let's go.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to People Now. Great to see you. We've got some big engagement news. Everybody's been buzzing about this from one of our favorite A-list couples. Alex Rodriguez popped the question to Jennifer Lopez over the weekend.
This made me really happy.
Yeah, I know,
and such
right?
a beautiful ring. We're already looking forward to their wedding. Obviously hoping they'll play a couple J-Lo hits, maybe for the first song. Do you think that's possible, Jeremy?
No, but I like to dream about it. In the movie version, there's a J-Lo song as the first song. In real life, I don't think she goes that direction.
But let's just be in our fantasy world right now. So we want to know, which Jennifer Lopez song do you think should be the first dance? Is it On the Floor? Is it Waiting for Tonight? The classic Jenny from the Block? Or how about Get Right? So vote in our People poll, or just tweet us your answer with the hashtag #PeopleNow.
Actually, okay, On the Floor, I can imagine them doing like a funny little blip of something like that, where they both have a choreographed dance, and then they do like a serious like...
I mean, they're definitely gonna play some of her music. You don't think so?
No, they'll play it, but the first song?
Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe like throw in a choreographed dance to one of her good songs. Anyway, we'll see. We're gonna debate this hotly until the wedding happens, so get ready. We're gonna check in on those People poll results and take a look at A-Rod and J-Lo's exciting engagement news in just a bit. But for now, here's what you need to know and what's trending for your Monday. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle made their first stop for Commonwealth Day on Monday, swinging by London's Canada House to see how Canadian candy is made, of all things, which would be cool to know. The event's aimed at showcasing the diverse community of young Canadians living in London and around the UK. The sweet bond between the expectant parents on full display. Harry chivalrously followed behind Meghan with a hand on her back as she stepped onto the curb. Guess what, though? The Duchess of Sussex returning the affection by keeping a hand on her husband's shoulder as they made their way inside the PDA. So over the top. Just kidding. For the occasion, Meghan wore a knee-length green coat with black floral appliques by RHOBH, a favorite brand of the royals that happens to have some sweet ties to Canada. It turns out designer RHOBH Maralyoglu was actually born in Canada to a Turkish father and English mother. He split his time growing up between Montreal and England, making the brand a perfect choice to honor both countries today. The piece also has a fun connection to Meghan's mom, Doria Ragland. According to RHOBH, the black floral embellishments on the coat are known as the Doria beaded rose embroidery. There you go, it all ties in here. Once inside, the couple were shown how maple taffy is made using syrup cooled on snow, which is really cool.
I've done that. It's really, yeah, it's cool.
Wow. The royals were all smiles as they interacted with the kids during the candy making process and later posed with them for a picture. Let's forget all the other royals part. Let's just do this as a craft. Before they left, the expectant parents who are expecting their first child in April were also given baby gifts by the Canadian High Commission to the UK. Now, later on Monday, the parents to be joined Prince William and Kate Middleton and other members of the royal family for the annual Commonwealth service at Westminster Abbey. The Queen is head of the Commonwealth, a global network of 53 countries with more than 2 billion people. The annual Abbey service is the largest annual interfaith gathering in the UK. Meghan made her Commonwealth Day debut at Westminster Abbey back in March of 2018, a little over 2 months before she and Prince Harry said, "I do." Glad things are going well for them. On the other hand, Nicki Minaj canceled her second concert in 2 months on Saturday night. The rapper was scheduled to perform in Bordeaux, France, but announced just hours before that the arena did not have enough electricity for her performance, which is something you would think would have been dealt with way in advance. But Minaj posted a video of herself on Instagram explaining that situation for her fans. Watch this.
You guys, it's not in my best interest not to perform and lose money and aggravate my fans. I love performing for my fans. I'm more excited than you are before the show.
Well, aggravate's the right word. The rapper went on to add, quote, "These two cities that had technical issues were cities that I had never been to before. We tried to add them, but they just didn't have the power in the building to facilitate my show. And they didn't tell us that until 3 hours before the show. We did sound check. They said it was fine." Then she continued, "I love you dearly, and I really hope to make it up very soon." By the way, very frustrating situation for her, no doubt about it. But after that announcement of the cancellation, some fans who were already at the concert venue began chanting Cardi B's name. Of course, those two rappers have famously feuded in the past, a beef that ultimately led to a scuffle at a New York Fashion Week party back in September. We remember that well. Minaj did not address those chants, but she did post videos of herself greeting fans outside of her hotel, then another video of her and her boyfriend Kenneth Perry attending a carnival later that night. All right, moving on to some tragic news here. George Foreman is grieving his daughter, Frida Foreman, who died at the age of 42. Foreman led tributes to his daughter on Sunday night, recalling how his daughter had once said, "Daddy, I want to box," to which he had replied, "Go get an education first." And that was something that he was very proud of, that she had achieved that. He shared this tweet on Sunday night, the picture featuring what appears to be the commencement program, Frida's graduation sash, and a photo of dad and daughter from that big day. George writes in the caption, "First Sunday in 42 years without my Frida," and he added, "She's with her maker now." Really sad, really emotional post there. After completing her education, Frida would eventually begin boxing professionally. She won her first 5 fights before losing the 6th. She then retired with a 5-1 record to focus on her family, and according to TMZ, a family member found Frida unresponsive at her home near Houston on Friday. The Harris County Sheriff's Office confirmed in a statement to People that officers were called to her home around 6:13 p.m. local time on Friday night. They added preliminary indications are that the cause of death is an apparent suicide. A final determination on the cause of death will be made by the Harris County Institute of Forensic Sciences. That was their official statement. Along with her parents and siblings, she's survived by her husband, 2 kids, and 3 grandchildren. We wish them all the best during what is undoubtedly a really, really difficult time. Andrea, you have more for us on Star Tracks today.
Yes, I do. So we are kicking off Star Tracks today with an update on one of Hollywood's most anticipated weddings. Katherine Schwarzenegger is getting a lot of help planning her upcoming wedding, including from her fiancé, Chris Pratt. On Saturday, the bride-to-be opened up to Entertainment Tonight, revealing that the process has become a family affair. She says, "I feel like we're all really involved in wedding planning. For me, my family is very involved, I'm very involved, Chris is very involved, so it's a great combination of everything and just a really exciting and fun time." The duo announced their engagement on Instagram back in January after 7 months of dating. And apparently, Katherine is feeling the pre-newlywed bliss. She went on to add, "I'm very happy in all areas of my life, and I feel really blessed and really lucky." Back in February, Chris told reporters that he and Katherine hadn't really figured out too many wedding details just yet, but he hinted about their possible wedding date, mentioning they were maybe thinking of a fall-winter kind of thing. He then added that he and Katherine still had a lot to get done. Well, one thing's for sure, it is going to be beautiful and amazing. We all know this. A source previously revealed that Katherine's famous parents, Arnold Schwarzenegger and Maria Shriver, would spare no expense to give their daughter the wedding of her dreams. I mean, Jeremy, this wedding is going to be ridiculous.
Goodness. Can you believe? Like, can you imagine like what they're doing? I wonder what Chris Pratt's sort of level of involvement is.
Yeah.
In the whole thing,
well,
and what
fall,
are his
winter. I mean, I like a winter wedding, but also if they do it in LA, it's not like it's not gonna be snowing.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fine.
And speaking from my own experience, you need to spend the money on the photographer and the videographer. 2 things that I would have done differently.
Oh, you didn't?
In hindsight. Well,
really?
I don't know. I don't know what the deal was, but really focus on that.
Were you super involved? Because Chris is very involved.
Yeah, I was. You know what actually made the tone of the day? So one of my big thing that I wanted to do was surprise her with a song I sang to her during the wedding.
Wait, you sang to?
That's right, everybody. I was so nervous about that going right and rehearsing it like crazy with my friend who played the guitar and another friend.
What song?
It's called Sweetness and Starlight.
Oh my gosh. Wait, we need to get a copy of that.
That will never happen.
That's pretty amazing. We're gonna get a copy.
Anyway, but the point is, I was very nervous about it, and so that's what set up the whole tone for the entire day. I was so relieved after it was over, and she cried and everything. So
I'm sure it's gonna
Chris,
be
sing a song.
right there with Chris and Katherine's wedding.
Yeah, just at the same level, same exact level. Take some advice from this guy, Chris Pratt.
All right, moving on to this. What happens in Vegas goes right on Instagram. Khloé Kardashian was in Las Vegas on Sunday celebrating her best friend's birthdays, Malika Hack and Khadijah Hack McRae. Khloé shared videos on her Instagram stories with both Malika and Khadijah boarding a private plane. That's a good friend, you know, private plane, no big deal. Yeah. For the night out, Khloé rocked a body-hugging pink fishnet one-piece, paired it with a pink purse tied at the waist. I mean, she looks pretty good there. Malika and Khloé have been friends for nearly 20 years. She's always been a fierce and loyal friend to Khloé, especially now with the Jordyn Woods-Tristan Thompson cheating scandal that continues to unfold. A lot of drama there, as we know. Days after that news broke in February, Khloé and Malika were seen heading to Palm Springs for a girls' getaway with Khloé's sister Kim Kardashian. In one Insta story from that day, Kim, Malika, and Khloé were dancing and lip-syncing to Brandy's Who Is She to You, which is about a cheating boyfriend, the shade, right? Kim and Malika have not been subtle about their feelings and opinions towards Jordan and Tristan since the scandal broke out. I'm glad that, you know, Khloé's getting out, she's going on these trips, she's going to Vegas. I feel like that's kind of what you need to do when all this scandal is happening.
They're being less subtle now, but everyone was being super subtle and like passive aggressive.
Super cagey, like not really saying what they felt.
What's happening?
Yeah, but look, Khloé looks great. She looked amazing in that fishnet one-piece thing.
I mean, of all times where you can imagine a group of girls getting together and be like, what am I wearing out? Knowing this is going to be everywhere. She was like, oh, this is the one.
She's rocking it. All right.
Making a statement.
Those are your Star Treks for today.
Stay with us, guys. Puppygate, it's still wreaking absolute havoc on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. We're obsessed with it, and we've got the latest, including Lisa Vanderpump, on which of her housewives' friendships is ruined beyond repair. Plus, we'll be joined live by Carson Kressley, chatting with him about judging RuPaul's Drag Race, his best style and interior design tips. There's a lot to get to. Stick around for that.
All right, Jennifer Lopez's love don't cost a thing but a ring. I don't know, it rhymed, it was good. Former MLB player Alex Rodriguez announced on Instagram on Saturday that the two are engaged.
Yeah, he posted this pic of him holding J-Lo's hand, rocking a massive diamond ring. You can barely see it. Just kidding. It's huge. He captioned it, she said yes. Look at that.
And J-Lo also shared the happy news with the same photo, but captioned it with 8 heart emojis. This ring is incredible. I'm not even a big ring person, but I like that cut. It's the emerald cut.
Oh yeah,
It's gorgeous.
You have now officially said that's the ring.
That's the ring.
Need
I'm
if
just
someone's
putting
gonna
it
take
out
your heart.
there. If that's
So guys with a lot of money, listen up. Or somebody that's willing to go into deep debt. Anyway, an insider confirms the happy couple got engaged while vacationing in the Bahamas. They love doing that. A source tells People the Bahamas was very fitting for the proposal because that is a destination that's always been very special.
And apparently early on in their relationship, they would sneak off to the Bahamas so they could get to know each other better privately, out of the public eye. Nice life. Just go to the Bahamas.
Oh, I love this shot. I saw
go.
this over the weekend too. He posted.
That is very
It's like,
funny.
hey, right here. I got it. Shortly after sharing the happy news, A-Rod showed off one more sweet surprise that he had lined up for his new fiancée. He posted an Instagram story where he had written a proclamation of love with rose petals on the couple's bed, accompanied by 6 long stem roses. Did he do it, or did the hotel staff
I'm
do
just
it?
picturing Alex Rodriguez sitting there, like laying the roses down.
I actually can fully see him doing
I
it,
feel
and
like
in a full
he's
tux.
someone that would do that. I mean, a source tells People Jennifer is ecstatic about the engagement. So are their families and friends. Not surprising there. I mean, they seem to have a lot of fun together. Their families are close. They're always with their kids. Remember, Alex has 2 daughters. J-Lo has 11-year-old twins with ex Mark Anthony.
So the two just celebrated the 2-year dating anniversary here. That was on February 3rd. J-Lo commemorated that day with a sweet Instagram post that said in part, "You make my world a more beautiful, safe, and stable place in the midst of our ever-changing, ever-moving life. We are meant to be, and how much you mean to me cannot be put into words." By the way, are those lyrics to a new song? Because it sounds like it.
Oh, really?
I could borderline put a beat to it right now. And sing.
This will be the 2nd marriage for A-Rod, the 4th marriage for J-Lo, which I actually kind of forgot that she'd been married that many times
Yeah,
before.
right. Well, here's the breakdown. Ojani, Noah, Chris Judd, Mark Anthony. She's also had these high-profile relationships, engagements. Ben Affleck, she was famously involved with during the Geely days, which we've all tried.
Yeah, but that's the past. Now we're on the present. We love how A-Rod's the best Instagram husband, always on the carpet, taking the pictures. He's very proud of J-Lo. I mean, they've also both said they're both perfectionists. They push themselves to be the best versions of themselves. So they also click over that. I'm very happy for them.
Yeah.
When I saw this news, I was actually like genuinely excited
Me
for
too.
them.
Yeah, phone started blowing up with it. By the way, I'm really proud of him for coming up with doing the photo thing. Always weird for a guy like that. She's this huge star. He's got to find something to do with his hands while he just stands there awkwardly during these press lines.
Yeah,
right?
you think that's why he does it? Instead
Partially.
of just
I think
being
he really
very
loves it, but he's
proud?
like, oh, here's something I can do and don't look like a fool standing over here the whole time. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's adorable.
Congrats to them. We wish them all the best, and we'll be following every single move in great detail. So
And now
folks,
that J-Lo's got that shiny new rock, it's time to start thinking about wedding planning. So most importantly, the playlist. We've been asking which one of J-Lo's hits you want to see as the couple's first dance, if that would happen in our fantasy world.
in the movie version of their wedding.
Yeah, let's take a look at the results so far.
Waiting for tonight. Whoa,
Yeah.
that would be a good one.
That's a good one.
But the close tie for second, On the Floor and Jenny from the Block.
No one's liking Get Right.
Forget it.
Waiting for just forget
Remove
about
it,
it.
remove it
I
from
mean,
the
can you
playlist.
imagine that wedding? That's going to be even crazier than Chris and
Here's my
Katherine.
question. Will they go over the top like Priyanka and Chopra, Nick Jonas, like a huge blowout? Or because everything's big in their real life, will they be intimate
And because
small?
they've been married before,
Right.
they might now want to make it more of a smaller, intimate
Go to
thing.
the Bahamas,
Yeah.
10 or 20 people, we get the pics, and then they throw parties later.
Yeah, either way.
Keep voting in our People poll and speculate with us on what they might do. Now let's move on to this. Watch.
I just heard that I was on the Cups and Popcorn and I wanted to see for myself. So thank you so much for coming. You guys are so awesome to come like opening weekend.
This is incredible. Captain Marvel herself, Brie Larson, surprised some lucky fans who are out to see her new movie on opening weekend. She was decked out in a Captain Marvel costume.
It's like a jumpsuit.
Showed up. I mean, being there must be pretty spectacular, having her just show up like that, Jeremy.
Mind's blown. Captain Marvel had this really impressive opening weekend. In spite of some mixed reviews from critics and some cynical opinions from some fan groups, it opened with an estimated $153 million in the U.S. That's the biggest opening for a movie so far this year, according to reports.
Then worldwide, it blew up, bringing in around $455 million globally. That's a huge number. It makes Captain Marvel the largest global launch of for all time for a female-led movie.
Yeah, remember there was obviously lots of buzz for Wonder Woman for similar reasons in terms of female lead breaking all these records. Huge box office for that one. Wonder Woman, by the way, is from the DC universe, not Marvel. So that's
okay. We got it, Jeremy.
I don't know. In case you're not necessarily a geek about the comic stuff, that movie paved the way. Wonder Woman did, but you compare that. Wonder Woman's opening was $103 million in the U.S. Captain Marvel, as we said, $153 million. So really huge.
So if you're keeping track, it ranks 7th biggest debut in the Marvel Cinematic Universe out of 21 movies. I mean, behind the 3 Avengers movies, Black Panther, Captain America: Civil War, and Iron Man 3.
Yeah. All right. So huge.
Good for her, and I love that she surprised the fans. I think that's so sweet, so touching.
I
took the time.
Honestly, for me, watching the movie, it took me a little bit to get used to her because I know her from Room and all these other types of roles. And then she really clicked in, and I'm anxious to see this character show up in the future movies. It's gonna be great. All right, guys, we move on to this now. Watch.
Why would somebody do that to 2 good
I don't have that answer. I don't have that answer.
Well, then why is it okay?
I don't have to answer for her.
You are friends with her.
I'm not responsible for Lisa Vanderpump's actions. I'm just saying that I know this about her, and I love her, and she's my friend, and now what do I do?
Well, exactly. That's what we need to talk about. Now what do you do? What do we do?
We have good sides, we have bad sides. That's a bad side she has, and she will never admit it.
Ooh, boy, Puppygate, it's the gift that keeps on giving, everybody. Lisa Vanderpump is now speaking out about her friendship with Kyle Richards amid the furry scandal that's going down on this season of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Yeah, so Lisa wrote in her latest Bravo blog post that her friendship with Kyle is finished in the wake of Puppygate. I mean, she explained the past year has been very difficult because of her brother Mark's death, who died by suicide, so she's going through a lot.
Yeah, and here was her quote. I admit I floundered, I didn't cope as I wallowed in the depths of depression, having some good days and many bad.
So we sat down with Lisa recently. She opened up about how things were so bad she probably shouldn't have even agreed to be on Housewives this season. Take a look.
I just had such a hard time in my personal life. I probably wasn't strong enough to do the show. I've dealt with the whole cast against me on 3 occasions, but this year I just wasn't the same person.
Look, that stuff was a serious loss. That was actually seemingly very emotional for her, obviously. But she did return, and as a result of that, the drama has been nonstop ever since about a little bit of everything.
Yeah, so she addressed the scene where Kyle came to her and husband Ken Todd's house, tried to convince her to talk to the other women, and this ended in Ken kicking Kyle Richards out of their home for accusing his wife of lying.
So then here's Lisa's quote. She said, "For me to put my hand to God and swear on my children's life and still have my friend disbelieve me is unacceptable. I assure you, if any of my friends were as vociferous in their statement of innocence, holding up their children's life, guess what? I would believe them." That's where the show started, but is ultimately where our friendship finished. That was her quote.
There's so much drama with this, and every housewife kind of has a different story at this point. I mean, Lisa finished her post with an in-depth explanation of the Puppygate scandal from her side of things.
Yeah.
I mean, this drama's taken over season 9. It kind of started when Dorit gave away a puppy she adopted from Lisa Vanderpump's charity, which then ended up in a kill shelter.
Yeah, everything kind of spawned off from that.
Yes, and so the rest of the season, we're kind of figuring out more information to figure out what actually really happened.
And then someone says one thing, and then everybody reacts to that, and then they said this, and
yeah.
There's a lot. The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. It airs Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern on Bravo.
You have a lot of personality that just oozes out of you in a different way from soju.
That was a clip from RuPaul's Drag Race, which is currently on its 11th season and featuring Carson Kressley, who's a judge on the show, and Carson is also on the show Get a Room, which is returning to Bravo on March 13th. Carson, thanks for joining us.
Oh my gosh, thanks for having me.
Nice to see you.
I love coming here. You guys are so cute. It's nice.
We love having you.
I look good on your sofa.
You're popping here. You got the look dialed in. Before we
Thank
get
you.
to it, let's talk about your skincare regime, can we?
Oh
Because
my
you just always seem
gosh.
so fresh.
Glowing.
Do I?
Yeah.
Everybody on the show was talking about this.
Dim lighting.
Dim lighting.
is the
Okay.
secret.
Turn the lights down.
No, I just honestly, I use whatever like kind of comes in a free gift bag, and I'm like, oh, here, let's put this. I'm like, corn oil. Wow, this works great. But I just no, I haven't. It's just good jeans. I
Good
think.
jeans. And
Yeah.
Nice.
Working out.
Yeah, and a little bronzer.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot
and a tiny bit of Botox.
Okay. Oh, okay. Well.
Notice nothing moves from
Yeah,
up
right.
here.
Expressionless. You've been
There were
happy
like
for 3 years.
certain shows where I got too much, like in the beginning, like on The Apprentice, I'm like squinting the entire time.
It's either a squint or a
and
full
they're like,
surprise.
open up your eyes. I'm like, I can't. So that's what you get.
Do you ever regret any of that, or is it just like?
Yes.
Do you really?
Yeah. Sometimes. I had a very good person, and then I was like in LA and I used somebody else, and it was just when I saw the footage, I was like, oh my God, my entire eyebrows are like down here now, because I think when they relax all this, it just goes bloop, and it was bad.
Well, you're looking great now.
Show opener of The Apprentice. Google
It's
it.
kind of trial and error, right? Because now you found the balance.
Yeah.
We're also talking about this. Truly, before we mentioned it, you walked in perfectly.
Right.
The loafers. How many of these pairs of these do you have in your closet at home?
Of loafers?
Yeah, you are such. You
I have a
always
lot of
great
loafers. I do love my loafers. I probably have, I don't know, like 30 pairs?
Oh my
Okay.
gosh,
That's not
legit.
that many.
Oh,
I have
that's
a shoe
legit.
closet,
Yeah.
but I have a high ratio of loafers to other shoes.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
No,
Like,
that makes sense.
who has the time to lace them up and tie? I'm just like,
You slip 'em
I'm
right up.
busy. I need a loafer.
Well, thanks for letting us break everything
of
down
Of
here.
course,
I'm
yeah.
getting a little bit into style. You're the style expert.
Yes.
Let's get into some style questions.
Okay, perfect.
Spring almost here.
Yes.
I mean, if people want to kind of get into the spring vibe,
Right.
what are your tips for adding that to their wardrobe?
Yeah, I think it's, you kind of have to segue into that. And I think, in many cities, like I want it to be spring now, and then like, oh, it's sunny, and then you go outside and it's like 43. So, but great ways, accessories. So funds, bright colors like handbags and neons, a shoe in a great pop color, even if it's in a suede, like a cobalt blue, touches of florals. Kind of doing it already,
Yeah,
but you could even
spring.
just add a scarf now, even with like a cashmere sweater, but in those florals, to kind of get you into the spirit of the season.
Let's talk about this. Do you have
accessories.
maybe 3 key tips, and maybe you hit on it here a bit,
Yeah.
but maybe even for the guys
Okay.
going into spring?
Oh,
Are there like some essentials? 3?
yeah,
Like,
yeah. I think for spring for guys, what I love white denim. So
Oh, yeah.
You don't have to worry about wearing it before Memorial Day. That's an old domestic partner's tale. That's not. So white denim, I think, is great. I think a fresh new blue blazer would be fantastic. And I think maybe like a lighter colored shoe. So it could be like a light tan kind of driving mock, or it could be like a suede loafer in a lighter color.
Okay.
Those 3 things kind of you can mix and match a million different ways with t-shirts and button downs, and you'll look fresh all season long.
That's great.
Yeah.
Good
What are
tips.
some style trends that you just cannot get down with?
Oh, you know what? I've recently received a catalog from a major retailer. I'm not going to say because I do hope to get an endorsement sometime. But they had the trends in denim right now, super acid washed, super wide leg, and then also short. So it's like an acid washed, jagged edge gaucho. And I was just like, oh my God, I can't even process this. This is so
I
horrible.
feel like there's like one person that could pull that off. I don't even know who
I
it
don't-
is.
I don't
but,
either.
Like maybe one somewhere,
I
right?
don't-
It's
I don't-
dramatic.
I usually like with a tricky trend, one person can. This one, I don't think anybody can. I mean, I saw it and I was like, no, I'm sorry.
So you guys got that? Avoid it. If you see it,
Yeah, a
avoid
wide
it.
leg gaucho and acid wash. I mean, I lived through the first version of acid wash.
Yeah.
Like, does Marité and Francois Gerbeau mean anything to anybody?
No, but let's talk.
Still in therapy.
Let's talk about RuPaul's Drag Race. One of the judges on this Emmy Award-winning season or
Yes.
series just recently premiered the 11th season. Miley Cyrus also celebrity judge
Yes.
on an episode. Let's talk about working with Miley.
Miley is great. I'm a fan of Miley from like Hannah Montana, like the big like rotating closet.
Right.
I was like begging my agents I was like, can I please be a guest on Hannah Montana? I could be like a rival fashion designer. I could be whatever. Never happened. But I've always loved Miley in her many incarnations.
And you think of Miley then versus the Miley you met.
Right.
What was
totally
the?
different.
But any surprise?
No, because I really follow her.
Yeah,
and,
okay,
You
you're-
know, like and Instagram and all those things. Now you can
You know the
really be
person.
up in people's Kool-Aid all the time. So, but what's fun is that every season, and I've been there since season 7, there's somebody amazing for the season premiere. So we've had Christina Aguilera, we've had Lady Gaga. So that day when you drive up on set, you're like, I wonder who it's gonna be. It's like the first day of school. And then I go upstairs to my little dressing room, and there's a sign usually on the guest dressing room, and it has their name. And when I got there and it said Miley Cyrus, I got verklempt. And it was very exciting. And I was like, I'm gonna knock on her door and introduce myself. You know, like, we're gonna be working together. Sometimes that doesn't work. They're like, and you are?
Yeah, right.
In this case, she's like, oh my God, I love you too. And then we had a love
that's great.
fest. So it was great. I
What did she
adore
bring
her.
to the show that hadn't been there before?
I think she brings something really unique because she grew up in show business and has been through many trials and tribulations. And the thing that I thought that was so impressive is that she really gets the whole authenticity thing. And she told, the contestants, like, even if the judges didn't like what you brought to the runway tonight, like, keep being you and keep bringing you, because that's the only thing that makes you stand out. And it's great advice. And as a judge on the show, I always tell people as well, like, do you, of course, but like amp it up because you are on Drag Race.
Yeah, right,
exactly.
A heightened version of you.
Be
right.
you, but also be super prepared. Like, don't be you, like, at the grocery store. Sorry.
The season
That's not gonna work.
The season has some fiery contestants. Do you have
Yes.
any favorites that kind of stuck out so far?
Yeah, I mean, there are some fiery ones like Evie Oddly, who's already starting some drama this season. I love Brooklyn Heights. I think she's, it's hard to tell because like in the beginning of the season, they come a little bit raw and it's like overwhelming. And then you really see, and I think that's why people love the show, is you see those few contestants who get it and they keep getting better and
dial
better.
it in, yeah.
And they dial it in, they use the information that the judges give them. And they figure out, because in many ways it's like a game show. Like you've got to, do well each week to stay on. And when you see them figuring it out and becoming the best versions of themselves, that's when it gets really
cool.
exciting.
And you're getting in on the game, I hear, at DRAGCon.
Oh, yeah.
You dressing up, doing the thing?
I've dabbled in drag
Like
for
way back?
Halloween.
Okay.
No, like 3 months ago.
Okay.
But terrible, because, it's just a bunch of friends in New Jersey and we slather on the makeup. And this year we went as the Real Housewives of Disney. So we combined all the Disney
Nice.
princesses with all the bad habits of your favorite housewives.
Okay.
We won.
It's a great concept, by the way.
But it
That's
wasn't,
really funny.
I actually looked older and more haggard with makeup on. I'm like, how is this possible?
It's supposed to glow up,
It's supposed to make me look gorgeous, but DRAGCon, which is really fun. If you haven't been, you guys should come. There's one in New York and in LA, and it's really, a celebration of all things drag. And one of my favorite contestants, Trinity the Tuck Taylor, I won't be tucking, is going to do my makeup as a tutorial. Because if you can make this look good, honey.
So do you know what the look's going to be inspired by or anything like that?
Well, I kind of want her to do her look on me.
Okay.
Because people think that we look alike, which I could see that. Someone shady on Instagram was like, yes, you look like her father. And I was like, what?
Block. Block,
Like,
delete.
report. I'm taking you down. But I think we're going to try to be twinsies and then hopefully break the internet.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
That's going to be fun. We'll be watching for that.
You should cover it.
Yeah, we should. We
that
should
would
come
be
along with you
so
guys.
fun.
Actually, that would be
Absolutely.
really fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like a
We'll talk
tutorial.
after.
Yeah, we will. Yeah.
You would make a gorgeous Evie Oddly.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Let's pull up an Evie Oddly photo. Okay, we'll do that
Maybe
later.
that wasn't a great example. I'm not sure.
We're really excited
Very
about
edgy.
Let's also talk about your latest Bravo show, Get a Room. You linked
Yes.
up with your former co-star from
Yes.
Queer Eye, Tom Felicia. Now, what was that like, the dynamic? Because, he's the design expert.
Right.
You were kind of the pupil. So
I was.
how was that whole dynamic?
I love interior design, and I've always loved it. And I was like that 8-year-old kid, that one 8-year-old kid who was like, Mom, we should get new drapes. And everyone else is playing soccer and riding their big wheel, and I'm like, no, let's go buy some chintz. So I've always loved it, but I didn't have the skill set. I mean, Tom is an A-list decorator. He did J-Lo's house. He did David Bowie and Iman's house. He's done Tina Fey's house. He's like a real top of the game A-list designer. So I really needed to learn those things. I've purchased sofas that didn't fit through my door.
First.
Which is a really
I
easy
need
mistake,
the-
actually.
yeah.
Yeah.
I need the science of it. So I learned a lot, and there's 2 tips that I think are really great for anybody that wants to kind of reimagine their space at home. Have a plan, which is like a floor plan of your room with all the measurements and where the doors are and where the windows are. And then when you go to a resource, you can say, oh, I can't get that sofa because that's too big. If I had done that, I wouldn't have been in that
Just literally
predicament.
know the measurements.
Literally have all of your
exactly where we go.
physical dimensions, and then have a concept. And your concept could be like, I love J-Lo's style. I want it to look like, you know, some of her red carpet looks. I want it to be floral. I want it to be pastel. If you have a plan on a concept, then you really have a roadmap, and you probably won't make mistakes, and you can do more than you think.
Yeah.
Well, I loved you and Tom together here just a couple months ago.
Right,
talking
right.
about everything. One of those things was that you talked about you used to go to him
I did.
for advice before
Yes.
you dive into something. Now that you've done this show together, do you find yourself being the person that people come to for advice, like we just did?
Yeah, people will come to me for advice, and I'll say, I am not a trained professional. There is a disclaimer, but
you have some things
I
that you
think I
can
have
say.
a good taste level, and I've learned so much from Tom on the show that I'm pretty good.
Yeah.
I have to say.
Yeah, good for you.
And
You're learning.
Yeah, I'm learning, and it's really fashion and interiors are very analogous, and I just think there's more bigger mistakes to be made in interiors because like you're tearing down walls and whatnot.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have time for a game, I think, before you go.
Oh, let's do a game.
We're gonna show you some trends, and we
We're
want to
gonna
know
play
whether they are
Monopoly.
hot.
2 hours.
See you guys tomorrow.
We're gonna do hot or not for these trends.
Okay, yeah,
Ready?
let's do it,
Want to get your
yes.
opinion? So
Okay.
first one is sheer dresses.
Sheer dresses. I think I'm not a fan because I'm old-fashioned and I always think like, oh my God, you can see her underwear. But that's the point.
Okay.
But sometimes I like this particular look, but sometimes sheer things show too much of the undergarment and it's just really distracting.
We've been asking a lot of people about this. I want to see what you think. The harness trend for guys. Let's take a look at this.
Oh,
Michael B.
gosh.
Jordan there.
Yes, the floral harness. Just to
Yeah.
soften
Right?
it.
You like that?
I think that's fun. I think guys don't have a lot of accessories.
Jury's out.
I don't really think that's necessary.
All right, last one, socks with heels.
Socks with heels. This is awful.
I bet that you were going to say that because we've been asking people.
I'm very like old school. Like a lot of these fashion trends, I'm just like, stop. Does it look good? No. Move on.
And that's that.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Carson.
Thank
so
you.
well.
Always a pleasure having you here.
for
Come back
having
anytime. You can watch RuPaul's Drag Race on VH1 Thursdays, 9 p.m. Eastern, and you can catch the first season of Get a Room when it returns to Bravo, March 13th. Check it out.
Thanks for watching. For now, we leave you with one last thing from American Ninja Warrior hosts Matt and Akbar. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Hey, I'm Matt Eisman.
And I'm Akbar Bajabiamila.
And this is One Last Thing.
The last time I challenged myself was probably going back to last year when I decided that I had a great idea, that I would try the Pocky one-chip challenge that almost hospitalized me.
I can't take it. I can't take it.
It was the worst thing I've ever done in my life. I will never do that again.
The last time I was embarrassed was, well, I mean, the reality is, you know, I'm almost impossible to embarrass. But I had the privilege for American Ninja Warrior Jr. of doing a rock video. And I had the spandex pants, I had on the suit, I had the hair and the makeup, and I was so ready to rock until they're like, take a look at your pants. I'd blown out my pants.
My last moment of bliss would probably be me finishing writing my book. Everyone can be a ninja. It's a hard job writing a book, so I was just so happy, like, yes, And now I can't wait for the world to see it.